Hello everybody, my name is Mark Mandel. I'm a developer advocate for Google Cloud. This is also a terrible video angle, so I'm going to turn that off. I'm streaming from the office today, and so I'm using my laptop mic, my laptop webcam, which uses a terrible angle on that. So we'll just make that small and not make that big anymore. Hi, so yes, if you haven't hung out with me before, I am Mark Mandel. I am a developer advocate for cloud. I'm one of the founders of the Agones project. And today we're going to work on that. It's a project for running dedicated game servers, so game servers for multiplayer games at scale across a cluster of machines running Kubernetes. So hopefully we'll have some fun. Now today, actually, I've been writing a whole bunch of code in the meantime for updating fleets of servers, so fleets of warm game servers that are already running. And I'm actually just compiling this in the background right now while that's running. You may hear the fan on my laptop. And what we're looking at today is basically we should have what we want to be able to do is basically if we have a set of game servers already running, say a certain version already running, and then we want to change them, we want to see it do a rolling update. So basically, not just delete all of the ones that are currently running, and hopefully, and not the ones that people are playing on. We've dealt with that previously, but leave those ones alone. But what we should see is rather than say if we have 100 of them, rather than deleting all the ones that haven't been currently allocated to a player, it'll all 100 in one go, and then come back and be like, boom, all right, now here's a whole new 100. What we want to see is, say 25%. So it gets rid of 25 and then starts 25 and then gets rid of 25 and starts 25 and gets rid of 25. Now I've written a bunch of code. I've written a bunch of tests for this code. So we can see here we have a rolling update deployment. I've got some to-dos still to do. So if everything goes according to plan, we'll get stuck into those. But in theory, so basically in theory, what should actually happen during the rolling update deployment, wherein what should happen here, I think, is my theory is we have a fleet. Under fleets are these things called game server sets. They're basically just groups of game servers, and you can have multiple game server sets underneath a fleet, and one of them, which is the active one, which is the one that has the right configuration that it should have, and then there's potentially the rest. So what in theory should happen is for active, if the actual number of replicas that are available for the number of replicas is the number for game servers. If the number of game servers in the status, which is the number of game servers, is equal to what we've set it to, then we can actually increase it. But I actually just realized there's one other thing that I'll want to do here, which is this. Now that I've literally just seen it. I've seen it right now. So let's change it. I've realized here what we should actually do. I'm just trying to think if there's a fast way of doing this, but I don't think there is. In that, basically, if the active.spec.replicas is less than the fleet. So basically, I'm just thinking through that if we have the top number, the right number of replicas, we shouldn't run this anymore. That's just silly. And by the same token, all right, so we've actually already done that here in the bottom one. So for any game server sets that are not active, right, they've got the old configuration. We want to slowly lower them down. But we want to do it here with a less than, just so that we escape out a little better. I don't think there's anything we can do to stop some of the computation that happens up here, but that at least stops a lot of this whole computation here. So you know what? Let's run the tests and then we'll see what happens. And what are you doing? All right, cool. Just making sure. Gotta keep an eye on the. Let's run these tests. Gotta keep an eye on the chat. So that's compiling. Let's see if that runs all the tests. That should be fine. I don't think there's any particular test that should fail. Beautiful. All the tests pass. That's good. All right. So let's actually save that. We'll have to rebuild it. That's all. Let's commit that. Let's escape when active game server set is greater than or equal to the fleet. Spec.replicas. Whatever. I'll end up changing this anyway. Cool. So we're gonna build that in the background and have that run. Just have a look to see. Cool. That's there. All right, sweet, sweet, sweet. All right, so that's gonna run in the background. While that's happening, let's what are we gonna do? All right, that's gonna take a couple of minutes. Let's have a look. All right, so that's okay. So back to what I'm talking about here. So just running through this real quick. So if we're saying if basically every time one of the game servers change, then this function should actually run. We've got some event handlers that will pick up that happening. So the game server will change, which will fire off the event handler for the game server set. Basically, it'll go all the way up. We've already got that plumbing all set up. And so this should run. Now, what will happen is if the replicas are less than the fleet spec replicas, and we're at a state where we've actually reached, basically I'm thinking of it this way, right? You say get rid of 25, say there's 100, or add 25 because it's 0, so it's the active one, sorry. And then it'll do all that work. And then once it gets to the point where it's at 25, then we're like, okay, cool, now we can add another 25. Because we've done what we needed to do. That should work. I'm just thinking this through real quick. I wonder if there's actually a bug. Because what we get, in fact, I have 2 bugs. I have 2 bugs. Okay, that's all right. So I have 2 bugs. Okay, so the reason I have 2 bugs, and I've actually already seen that. All right, cool, that's fun. All right, so that'll happen in the background. So we're already fixing bugs already. So we have this thing called a rolling update deployment. This is the configuration for the rolling update. And it has 2 values, which is max unavailable and max surge, which is the most we can go over. So max unavailable is the amount that we can currently delete, and that's the most we can surge over. There's bugs in this. I just realized there's a whole heap. So anyway, we'll fix them. Let's fix them. First bug being that, whatchamacallit, is that max surge can only be applied to what's active because we want to go over, so that's more. So we need to do that calculation in here. So we'll do that, and we'll call that surge. Now, there's another thing that I'm thinking, which is, let's think this through for a sec. I'm gonna come back to this in a sec because I think there's some math I need to do that's a little bit better. But we'll need to do the same thing here, but rather than actually, we're gonna say round up false. And that which means we can do this now, but this should be then max unavailable. Because we actually, I did this badly. Okay, that's fine. And we'll call this unavailable. Okay, so to explain what I'm doing here. Okay, cool. Cbro, not available. Cool. Close to having an environment set up to try this. Okay, cool. Free Duchess, I'm close to having an environment set up to run this. Oh, cool. That's really neat. All right. I'll break down a couple of things I've done in here, and I think because I do have some bugs. That's all right. But that's fine. Okay. So what we did, and you may not know this from previous ones, we when we set up the configuration for doing the strategy for, here we go, for inside a fleet, we have this thing called a deployment strategy. We actually reused our regular Kubernetes deployment strategy. This is the apps v1. This is actually standard, the standard Kubernetes type, right? This types.go, and you can see it here, vendor k8.io apps v1. So we just reused it because we basically want the same configuration, which is cool. And if we dig into this a little, which is actually kind of neat, you'll notice that this max unavailable thing here is this thing called an int or a string. So if you ever configured deployments, you may actually have noticed that that sometimes you could write 5, but you could also write 25%. So it could be either. And the nice thing is Kubernetes client Go stuff actually gives you some useful tools out of the box to manage this for you. So it can be an int or a string. So we're just going to use that. And part of the things it does in here, strangely enough, is get value from int or percent, which is what we use. So we can actually say, hey, there's an int or string value, and we actually don't need to care which. It's going to handle it for us. There's the total that we want to have. And then just give us the value back. So if it's like 5, it'll just give us back 5. But if it's 25%, then we can pass in the value and it'll work it out, which is pretty easy. Awesome. So pretty cool. So that's basically what we're doing here. Now, I realized one thing. Okay, so that's cool. I'm going to go, so I have a fleet test. And I was actually thinking about this last night. And not this test. This test should be fine. I don't care about that. Inside my controller test. I was thinking about this last night. I have, where are we? I have a test for this, which is not update fleet status, not sync fleet, rolling update. Here we go. I have a whole table-driven test here with rolling update deployment stuff, which is fun. Now, what I've realized is I have the same. This is the same thing, right? I have the same values in my test for both max surge and max unavailable. So I should really have different values. That would be better because that actually would have caught this. So let's do that. Let's make that change. So .spec .strategy .rolling update. We'll say max unavailable. How do I make an int or a string? That's actually a really interesting question. Int or string? Here we go. Is there like a pause or a value or a from int? There's a from int from string. Perfect. Let's use that. And we'll say 27%. It doesn't like that. Why doesn't it like that? It doesn't like that because we have a string object with a string value. I did that. Can't use it as a pointer. Will it let me just do this? Not that. This. Or do I need to set it to a value? I need to set it to a value. All right, so I'm going to say max unavailable equals that. We're actually going to make it 30 because it's a nice round number, and it'll just make it easier to test. There we go. No? Yes. Good. Okay. So max unavailable. Let's change my gate. So this is just making sure the thing did the thing that I said it would do the thing with, which is fun. Freight Duchess. All right. So you're talking about Minikube on the chat. That's fine. I'm not gonna bother with that. I don't think there's anything I can add to this conversation. I'm so close to having environments that run this. Was trying to get away with regular virtualization from Windows, but looks like I have to dual boot. Really, Freight Duchess, I've run, what is it? Is it Hyper-V that's running on Microsoft on Windows? I've got that working on Windows, and it's fine. I'd be curious to know what actually broke on you. There was some trickiness in it. The development environment should work. It's all set up that it should too. Okay, yeah. I found Hyper-V worked just fine. Or whatever it is. Is it Hyper-V on OS X, or I can never remember. Yeah, so if you actually follow the development guide, the build development guide, it should actually help you out. All right, so this will have now broken my tests, which is fine. So you know what? Let's run it. So it is an interesting thing. If you've ever written table-driven tests before, they're pretty neat. I quite like them. Basically, you set up a data structure with the values you want, and then you go down here and you run it all. Something I like to do, and I've seen other people do as well, is I set up a map with the structor values that I like. And the map, excuse me, the map key is the name of the test. So you can see here, fully inactive, empty inactive, etc., etc. And so that when things break, I can actually see which ones break. So if we run this, a bunch of stuff should break because now I changed some values, which is fine. Cool. Here we go. Yep, should be 70 on fully empty. See, full inactive, empty inactive, which is this one. Sweet. And that should be 70. Yeah, that makes sense because that's 30. That's now 30%. All right, so I started with 100 things in my thing. And so what we're seeing here is we should see that it should go down by 30, but we should go up by, the inactive one should be scaled down to 70, but the regular one should go up to 25. So that should work pretty well. It's Hyper-V and MS. Good. All right, cool. Yeah, definitely try that before dual booting. Dual booting's fun, but shouldn't be necessary. Windows and doing container stuff is tricky, but possible. Cool. Let's run that again. Let's see if that works. Now, one thing that is going to be fun that I realized, okay, that's all passing, and I think there's one other thing that I need to care about that I'm seeing in here, which is max surge. Basically, how much can I go over what I currently have set as a value? Because I'm just thinking this through, right? So I don't know. Here's the interesting thing. This value here, I'm getting a percent of I'm getting, oh man, I'm just thinking this through, right? If I have 20, here, maybe if I do this in a scratch, this might actually be easier if I just pull up give me a scratch buffer. I just want to think this through for a sec. Right, yeah, there we go, go away. No, I don't want to go file, I just want to scratch buffer, perfect. Ah, fine, whatever. I don't know why it's making a go file. That's actually really interesting, but that's a whole other thing. Oh, I can change the language. Oh, sweet. I didn't know I could do that. All right, that must be new. Just straight text would be lovely, please. There is nothing in here that's just no command line. That's no, that's really not what I want. Plain text, perfect. All right, so I'm just thinking this through. All right, so say I've set up a fleet, and it has 100 game servers in it. And I've got it set to, yeah, actually a really good example. So say I've got this set to max surge of 50%, but max unallocated. What is it? Max unavailable. Just thinking this through for a sec. For something like 10%, like some like really big difference between the two, right? Actually, I don't think this matters. I was trying to think through. See you later, see bro. I was trying to think through that. Basically, so if I have a max surge of 50, I was basically thinking maybe there would be a case where I would go past my 150 allocated somehow. But I actually don't. So I would have a top of a max of 150 because, right, 100 plus, 0.5 times 100. Right. Right, if we just did the math. But I don't actually think that could happen because I'm only ever adding more at the same time I'm decreasing. But we can put a check on this. Because, and we probably should, if we max, yeah, we do. Because, all right, so I'm just thinking this through. Like the first time we do this, right, we will go, I'm just thinking, so the active one will go to 150, inactive one will go to 90. We'll assume no allocated ones, right? Like we're not allocated to anything. That'll be the first pass. And then the next one will go to, no, that's not right. The first one will go to 50. Inactive will go to 90, which means we have 140 total. And then the next pass, active will go to 100. Inactive will go to 80 because 10%, which means that, yes, we will have a problem, which is now 180, which means we've actually got over our max surge. I do have a bug. Okay. Fun. Okay. I thought we were gonna run this, but I saw a bug, so let's fix the bugs. Yeah, because that's a problem, right? And then this will then slowly go down because we're at active 100, inactive will become 70, but we're still we're gonna spend several times, and that's gonna be bad resource management. That's really bad resource management. So I think I know how we can solve this though. Which is, so there's the surge, fleet upper bound replicas. Oh, have I already fixed this? No, I haven't. Okay, so upper bound replicas already does some of this work. So I have this thing that says you can't, basically it says you can't try to accidentally put more, set the game server set to more replicas than what's in the game inside the fleet. So if the value is greater than the fleet spec, we can't do that. That's bad. But all right. In which case, what we need to do then is say, so what would the math be here? So if I need to get this down, so basically in this situation, we need to drop this total back to 150, right? We have to do that work. And we also need to write a test for this, but we'll get to this. We need to drop this to 150. All right, so what that means is this shouldn't jump more than this value. All right, so I'm actually trying to work out the math for this. This value should be 150 minus 80, which would be 70, right? So this should be 70. Oh, which is the number of inactives. Okay, that actually works. That should be fine. All right. So that's cool. We can see that pattern. Lovely. Math is good. Yay. All right, cool. All right, so let's just do that. That should be fine. Okay, so if replicas, yeah. So we're doing some work here for allocated. That's basically where, like, if there's already some allocated, that would be bad. Here's an interesting question. Do I want to make a function that... I don't think I need a function. So I tend to work on the principle that if I write something... Oh, man, I'm trying to think this through. Well, let's write the code. Maybe I will want to turn this into a function. I'm not sure if I want to put the function on the fleet. I can't decide. But the problem I'm going to have is that I need to know how many inactive I have. And I don't think I have that number readily available. And which means I may need to switch the order of this. Oh, fun. Yeah, so this is hilarious fun. All right, cool. I might have to do more work than I think I needed to do. And I may want to split this into two functions because it's getting a little bit unwieldy. But let's see. Okay, so... Oh, boy. All right, so I do need... All right, so let me have a look at my fleet for a second. Is there... So a fleet... Here we go. Let's have a look at fleet. That's what I want. A fleet does have a status, and the status has some aggregate data in it. Tells me how many replicas I have in total. Tells me how many are ready. Yeah, see, it doesn't tell me how many are currently inactive, which is not unsurprising and not like a terrible thing in the world, but that's kind of just what it does. All right, cool. Sweet. Okay. So, think this through. All right, so here. Let's just add a to-do. We need to subtract the total number of inactive. Ooh, so this is an interesting one. So if we do that, we don't care. Oh, okay, actually, we don't necessarily need to go through here. That's all right. But we may end up doing two loops. Anyway, so let's think this through. So actually, inactive ready. But see, I'm just thinking this through, right? So if I'm subtracting the number of allocated, we should actually just subtract everything, right? Then we don't care anymore. We actually should have something that has something rather than this. So some would be replicas, replicas minus just some, actually. I think it through, like, if I'm just thinking through some of the logic I'm ending up putting on here. So this might be good. All right, so hold on, here we go. So replicas minus some allocated. A game server set status has what values? Has replicas, has ready replicas. We can actually just get all the replicas. We basically just want to... Replicas is what it should be. So basically, yeah, even if it's allocated or not, just get rid of it. Just don't... If it's... Yeah, if... Let me... Oh, man, this is fun. Okay, so... No. Yeah. The replicas is... No, I still don't feel right. Still don't feel right. I still don't feel right. What am I doing? What am I doing? Am I using an XPS laptop? I am using a Dell Precision 5520 DG Crests. Someone was asking. Someone always asks what laptop I'm using. And I'm running Linux, and I'm running Xmonad, and I'm running GNOME. So let me think this through for a sec. If replicas... No, yeah, if fleet dot sum allocated. Let's just I'm just gonna work with that or something like that. Actually, it's not even. It'll just be sum allocated, something like that. Rest. Oh no, some replicas. Some replicas. So basically, the sum of all the replicas for everything that's inactive plus replicas is greater than surge. And in fact, I think I'll call that max surge, because that would be better. And that should be max unavailable. Max unavailable, because that'll be better. Yeah, that max unavailable is easier because you're just deleting stuff. And I'm only ever doing one game server set at a time, so it's never going to go over. Otherwise, I'd have to do math, and I just can't be bothered. It's just easier this way. Also, it's a max, so like I can just do it a little slower. We could revisit if we want to do that a little better. All right, cool. All right, so if the sum of all the replicas, and we'll just hand wave that particular function right now, is greater than the max surge, and that should be a value sum inactive replicas equals it's greater than the sum of the replicas of rest, then replicas should equal replicas minus some inactive replicas. Oops. That seems correct. That seems like that should be right. And then I don't think... And then yeah, we still need to have the upper bounds check, just an absolute case, right? Call it some status replicas, just so that we know exactly what that's doing. And that, I think, will be part of here. I think that's just we'll put that in that package. We'll create that in a second. And then I don't think we need this now, because we're already counting all the inactive ones, and that will include the allocated ones. So in theory, that should be fine. We should never go over that. I think that would be correct. Okay. All right. This is fun. This is whee. Okay, cool. We can write tests for this. All right. So let's implement this. This is not a thing yet. Oh, really? It's not gonna write that function for me? Yeah, usually it writes functions for me. All right, cool. Let's go into fleet. So we'll call it func sum status replicas. It will take a list array of pointers to game server sets, and it will return an int32. Sum service records returns the total number of status.replicas in the list of game server sets. I think this will work. Okay, cool. Beautiful. I mean, this is like nothing magic for underscore GS set in range list. Actually, we should have a total equals int32 0. Yeah, everything inside the type system uses int32, so we'll just keep using that. Return total, and total plus equals gsset dot status dot replicas. Nothing special. Cool. Let's just write a quick test for this because I hate not having tests. That makes me really sad. So let's just go to where fleet test. Here we go. Beautiful. We'll just go down the bottom. Test. Oops. No. Test. Usually it gives me some status reply. That's beautiful. All right. I need some game server sets. Do I have a thing that makes these? Or am I thought I had like a like a utility function or something that did this, but I don't think I do. Okay. I thought I did. Oh, interesting. All right. I probably do somewhere. This code base is getting a little big. Actually, let's have a look very quickly. Testing, here we go. Did I have... No, I think they're all controller functions. All right, new mock start informers. Okay, no. Okay, I thought I did, but I don't. That's fine. Easy way of doing this. It's actually, no, it's fine. Let's just say fixture equals an array of pointer to game server sets. Boom. And we need some game server sets. And really all we need to do is just set the game server set status value. So let's just do that. Game server, actually, I'm just trying to decide what's the fastest way of doing this. Status game server set status replicas, and we'll say 10 for argument's sake. Comma bang. I've done something bad. What have I done that's bad? Cannot use game server set. Oh, because it's a pointer. There we go. Let's do that. All right, and let's duplicate this a couple of times, and we'll make that 15, and we'll make that 5. Nice round numbers, because I like round numbers. It hates me. Why does it hate me? Redundant. Oh, redundant type declarations. Oh, interesting. So if I get rid of... I forgot that Go does that. Now it hates me still. Make sure field values. Yeah, exactly. Why do you hate me? You really don't like me. What have I done? Make sure field value initializers. Why? No, it's not. That's a lie. I've done something silly. I don't think I have enough. What? Oh, I'm silly. That's better. Yeah. Okay, that makes more sense. It does say that's a redundant type declaration. What happens if I get rid of it? Ooh, nice. Hey! Go does nice things. All right, so this should be pretty straightforward. Assert dot equal t. Actually, it should be 10 plus, it should be 40. My mental math is right. And some status replicas fixture. Beautiful. We can get rid of that line up there. Awesome. Let's run that. Make sure it does what I think it does. And I broke things. Oh. Just typed a letter. Let's run that again. Okay. Let's see how we go. Failed. 30, because my mental math is wrong. Come on, chat room, you should help me out on these things. All right. That's better. Let's run that again. Yes. 10 plus 15 would be 25 plus 30 would be... What? Oh, it's an int 32. Oh, my God. Let's do that. All right, run it again. Running. Cool. Pass. All right, that's a good start. Okay. So now if we come back to our controller, so that now is looking good. There's one test I'm going to need to change, which is... I've got inactive allocated replicas. This is going to need to become inactive replicas, because right now we actually don't care Basically, we're setting some replica values. Let's change that. And I'll come back to this in a sec. Should be interesting, actually. Let's actually, this should be fine. This should be fine. This should still work. So this should be now status.replicas because we're actually only just looking at the replicas value. Now let's run all the tests. If anyone wants me to go through basically table-based testing, let me know. Afraid.chess. I told my math teacher in elementary school that I'd never use math in real life, so I can't start now. Okay, I broke things. All right, we're having a good day today. All right, what did we do? Not equal, true, expected, false, actual. What failed there? Expected, updated. It should have updated. Interesting. So one thing I wish I could do is both of these thought that they should have... I broke things. I broke things good. What did I break? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. All right, let's look at our... So I did add active spec replicas. Let's, for argument's sake, take that out. Before we run the test and see if that was what it was, or did I just break something good? Nope, I broke it good. All right. So this one and this one. The only thing annoying, so IntelliJ is usually really nice in that if you write t.run, it'll whatchamacallit, it gives you a little play thing. But if we do table-based testing, then it actually goes away, which is really annoying. But what we can do is just cheat a little. How do we want to cheat a little? Or the other way of doing this is if we, no, how do I edit? That's what I want. That's what I want. That's what I want. Edit configurations, beautiful. Pattern, just control update play. I can remember how to do that. That's fine. Okay. Thinking. Then what we'll do is we'll actually cheat a little. We're gonna cheat, and then we're gonna work out what's going on, which is basically fine. Keep that, underscore that, and then fixtures. We're just basically just gonna delete the ones we don't want to use. That's fine. Just, yeah. We'll keep that. I actually don't care. Almost empty. Let's start with full inactive, empty inactive. Because that's actually the simplest out of the set. I do love how when I come to stream and I'm like, hey, I have this idea. This is what I'm going to work on. And then we get into it. And I'm like, nope. Sorry. We're not doing that one at all. All right. Let's run our tests. So now we just have the one test, which is this. Okay. So it didn't... interesting. All right, let's have a look at our test. Replicas comes out. So we didn't get an update. The update that it's checking is that it should have updated the old game server set to drop it down. Looks like replicas passed, so that's right, but it should have updated. So let's have a look at our code. Okay, so I was actually looking at the wrong thing. All right, so if we have a look in our controller... Oops, I actually didn't need to do that. And let's put ourselves a view. GS set replicas is greater than 0. Yes. I didn't change any of this. This should be fine. The only thing I changed... Oh, well, I did... let's have a look. Okay, so let's just step through this real quick. So max unavailable. We get a value here. And if GS set status replicas is greater than 0, and the replicas equal each other, so the status is the same value, then make copy and delete the max unavailable. This seems right. Okay, but maybe it's not. So that's fine. Let's have a look. Where do we want to put these tests? So, well, let's actually look at our data first. Active spec replicas is 0. That's active. Inactive, we should have 100 and 100. That's strange. Okay. So we didn't add any returns in here accidentally. I've done that before. To put returns in the wrong spot. Nope, that all seems pretty legit. All right. Interesting. All right. Let's put in some logging and see what happens. Yeah. C.logger.with field. All right. So let's just put in max unavailable, and we'll put in that value because it's good to know. With field, we are. And actually, we'll also do with field. Where are we? GS set inactive. And we'll just call it GS set. That's actually easier. GS set, and we'll say GS set dot name and dot info. I don't know, something like that. All right, so let's see if that even just runs. See if we actually get that value. Let's test and run that. Just set inactive, cool. Max unavailable 30. All right, so we're in the thing. All right, that's nice. Actually, we can just be a little bit more. Let's just dump the whole thing in there. That'll let us see everything. That'll give us a big JSON blob. All right, GS set, here we go. What we can also do is just copy that whole thing. Let's go into our buffer. Actually, let's just grab a new buffer. Interesting. New scratch. Actually, that'll do. That's what I want. So I want a JSON because then I can do this. Haha! Excellent. This is one of the lovely things about doing JSON-based logging is that it's really nice to be able to format this stuff. Cool. Beautiful. So max not available is 30. Status replica series ready. What? That is not correct. That should be a proper number. All right, spec replicas is 100. But they should be the same because the same is what I told it to do. So why is it not the same? That's very strange. Okay, everything else looks fine. Okay, let's have a look at our test. I did something bad in my test. Not this one. Controller test. What? What? All right. Let's look at our data. Invective status replies, right? Like that should be what we're setting. So we have a look here. V inactive status replicas. Yes, that looks like that's correct. What have I done? I've done something stupid. I set the inactive. And I'm just passing that through, like I'm not doing anything special. All right, let's log it. See, logres dot with field inactive. Inactive. Let's just pass in the whole thing with info setting up the initial inactive. Okay. Seems legit, right? Let's run that. Let's see if we can find that setting. Oops, wrong window. Setting. Sometimes I swear it doesn't, like if I put a log statement in a test, it doesn't show up. I swear, because I swear it does it sometimes, and it drives me crazy. Here, logres with field. Yeah, I wrote it. I wrote stuff. I put stuff there. Let's have a look. Let's just click the button from here for argument's sake. Run test controller rolling. Let's have a look. Here we go, inactive. This is the one I want. Let's copy that into our scratch JSON. format it. That is not right. Status replicas. That seems pretty weird. All right, so what did I do? Oh, I am silly. I do have a bug in here. How did I not see that before? That should be the spec, which is really strange. What did I do? Yeah, I don't know what I did. I did something weird. That should actually be spec replicas. Oh, wait, what? What did I do? I did something really weird. Okay, so I changed this to inactive replicas. So I had inactive status replicas. What was that before? Inactive allocated replicas, which I don't actually care about anymore. Oh, okay. Let's actually get rid of that. I don't think I actually care about it anymore. Yeah, that should go away. That'll break a bunch of stuff. Inactive replicas. Yeah, I think that's actually better. All right. Yeah. I just did something silly. Spec replicas. Okay. Oh, I've already got that. I've already done that. Okay, so I was doing it. Oh, I see. Okay. Anyway, let's run that test. I think that will now actually work. I just did something really stupid. Okay. There's bad stuff happening inside my code. Oh, that's fun. Okay. Now I have other problems. I have a lot of problems. Okay, that's not good. We definitely do not want negative values to happen. That would be bad. Replicas, we never want negative replicas. That would just be awful. All right, so I've done something really stupid. Okay, cool. Let's see what I've done. Because that seems like that shouldn't happen. Let's have a look at that test, that individual test. So if I have... let's look at this. All right. So we're starting from active is 0, inactive is 100. We're saying that for this test, the max surge is 25%, so we should be able to go up to 125. And the max unavailable should be 30. Now, ooh, here's an interesting one. Actually, I think I did show up some interesting things here, in that, in actuality, until some of these have actually deleted. No. I should be able to still push some up, like in theory, right? So, the fleet itself should be at 100, so I should be able to create 25 at least. Yeah, I should be able to create 25. First pass should be 25. I should get that. So I've done something stupid. All right. Let's have a look. See if we can see what's happening here. Early update deployment, blah, blah, blah. Replicas is bet less than. That's all fine. And the values are the same, which we're good. Get value from int or percent. All right, so we get our max surge. We also will need to lower bounds this. I'm just gonna. It's gonna look complicated, but anyway. That we will need regardless. So there's that. But wait, where did we get the negative number? Let's run that again. I think. Yeah, it should be 25. That's not right. Okay, so that's where we're getting back to the number. This is this value here should be the number of increase in replicas that we get. And that's wrong. What time is it? Okay, I actually need to finish soon. Ah, man. I hate when I can't fix things in the middle. So this has been an interesting exploration. This is not what I was thinking was going to happen today. But that's okay. That's all right. That's totally fine. Where are we? Okay, so I broke all kinds of things today. Let's have a look here. So, did I write this down? Okay, so let's have a look at this. All right, so if the sum, all right, so let's have a look at what we've done here. Yeah, so this has got to be it here, this stuff here. So if we have a max surge, and we sum the status of the replicas of the rest, which is 100. Well, first of all, actually, we should do. Yeah, so hold on. Let's upper bound it first. So upper bounds basically just make sure that we don't go over what our fleet is set to, so we can do that. So if we go replicas plus mass surge, and we go up, then we grab the sum actives. So if we say the sum of inactive replicas plus the replicas is greater than the max surge, right? So we've gone over it, then we need to subtract the inactive replicas. Now, if we have inactive replicas in this test, we should have 100 of them. That's why we're getting negative numbers. But it shouldn't be, it should be actually greater than or equal to, which is fine too. But greater than or equal to is okay. But that math is then wrong. That math is totally wrong. This math is very, very, very wrong. Reason it's wrong is that, okay, so if we actually have a look, for example, in here. So say, all right, so if we have, I'm just thinking this through, right? So if we have 100, what time we got? I got 2 minutes. So if we have 100 inactive, and then we want to say, we're asking to, and then, sorry, 100, we have currently inactive replicas. We want to increase by max 25%. There we go. Therefore, we can go up to and including 125 replicas, right? So even I'm just thinking this through, right? Like so if we went to, we should be able to go to 125, right? We should be able to go plus 25 active replicas, and that should be fine. That will take us to 125. But for argument's sake, let's change some of these numbers. Let's say this becomes 101, for argument, up to and including 125. So plus 25 replicas would take us to 126. Given our current logic, we would then subtract 100 from this number. That's not right. What we actually need to do is really what we need to do is basically say what's our max, take our current total, subtract, which would, in this case would be 126, subtract our max, which would be 125. This gives us a value. We can then take our active replicas, let's call that diff, subtract the diff, which would then give us 125. That will work. The logic we have previously, that was not going to work. That was very much not going to work. I'm literally just going to copy this and put it in here so that I remember what we need to do. Cool. I'm going to commit this code. Wow, that was not where I thought today was going to go. This is very broken. Please fix. Cool. And I will actually bid you adieu at this point. That was not what I thought was going to happen today. I thought I was going to actually run this stuff on top of a cluster, but I was staring at it and I realized that the code's just wrong. It was just wrong. I'm sure we'll find some other fun stuff in here, but yeah, that was fun. That was not what I thought was going to happen today, but that's okay. That is fine. So yeah, I'm gonna try and get another stream out probably on Thursday at some point. Follow me on Twitch, which you're already on, or like a twitch.tv/markmandel. You can follow me on Twitter at Twitter/neurotic. It's normally where I throw out my impromptu stuff. If I work out what time that's going to be on Thursday, I will make sure to throw that out on Twitch, especially. I put an announcement on it. So yeah, we'll just keep on working on this stuff. I'll probably work on this in the meantime. Hopefully when I come back online next, this will be working, so I can actually show you a demo of it, which would be really, really cool. If you want to check out the Agones project, it's agones.dev. The link is below in all the summary stuff. And finally, thank you so much for hanging out with me today and chilling with me and seeing what the stuff I was working on and seeing that, you know what, we all just write. Sometimes we just do the wrong thing. We just do the wrong thing, and that's fine as long as we go back and fix it. Awesome. Well, thanks everyone for hanging out, and I'll catch you all later. If I don't catch you all on Thursday, I will catch you at 9 a.m. Pacific Tuesdays on the regular. All right, I'll see you all later.